अरिहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाय स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम दारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम दारी है। वंदितु सव सिद्धे धुवचल मणुवमं गदिं पत्ते वोचामी समय पाहुर मिणमो शुद्ध केवली पणिदम। नमः समय साराय स्वानुभूत्या चकासते चित स्वभावाय भावाय सर्वभावांतर चिदे। So Acharya Kunkundeo's Samay Sarji scripture and Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev's commentary and the follow-up Kalash that we are discussing. We had so far completed up to 33, verse number 33. Today we are going to start verse number 34. Let me share. One minute. Huh? Yeah, you could see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, Samaysar Gatha number 34, 35. In the Atma Khyati Tika, that is the commentary by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev, the introductory exposition to the 34th aphorism, 34th verse, is written at such great length that perhaps no other aphorism has been given so lengthy an introductory exposition. So before the verse starts, there is an introductory exposition that what is going to come in this particular verse, what they are going to explain on this particular verse. So this particular introductory exposition is a very long one. So we'll read it out. Thus this ignorant jiva, due to the impressions of the oneness of the Atma and the body, formed through the beginningless continuity of delusion. Okay, so last three gathas, 31, 32, 3, that was about this, the discrimination between the soul and the body. Okay, so due to ignorance, the soul believes Atma and the body as one. Since how long? Beginningless continuity of delusion. Was extremely unawakened, was ignorant, was having a wrong belief. Now, through the manifest rise of the light in the form of knowledge of fundamental elements and through the coverings in the form of obscuring karmas being properly opened away, like a defect of the eye being removed, he has become awakened. So if there is something in your eyes, you cannot see it properly. Now that thing has been removed. So now you can see very properly. So earlier the soul was ignorant, and since he was ignorant, he could not see the real nature of the pure soul. Now he has awakened, so he could see everything. What is soul's function like? What is the nature of the soul? Okay. And once he is awakened, what he sees, and directly knowing himself by himself as the seer, only knower and seer, believing in that very self and becoming desirous of conducting himself accordingly. Okay. So he has already got the right belief and the right knowledge. Now he is desirous of conducting himself accordingly. Okay. So belief, knowledge, and conduct. These are the three gems. When it has been manifested, you are into the path of liberation. So now this soul who was ignorant earlier, now he has become awakened. So he has manifested right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. Now we ask that if my nature is just to know and I don't grasp anything or I don't renounce anything, that is my true nature, then what is the renunciation of other substance for this Atma? Okay, then what is to be renounced? If I don't grasp anything, if I don't abandon anything, then where is the question of renouncing the other substance? We have never grasped it in the first place. That is the question the awakened soul is asking. Why? Because he has awakened, and the moment he becomes awakened, he knows that his function is just to know. Okay. The soul's primary function is just to know. It does not do anything else. Okay. So knowing this way, he now uh, is now asking that what is to be renounced? When I don't grasp or accept anything in the first place, then where is the question of renouncing? So what is the nature of renunciation? That is what he wants to ask. In reply to this question, Acharya Dev writes these 34th and 35th aphorisms. In the aforesaid introduction, it has been stated that from beginningless time, so now that same introductory exposition is being here explained by Dr. Bharilji in a simple manner. In the aforesaid introduction, it has been stated that from the beginningless time, this Atma, the soul, had regarded the body and the Atma as one. And due to the extremely firm impressions of oneness between the Atma and the body, it was extremely unawakened, ignorant. But now, through the influence of the light of knowledge of fundamental elements and through the removal of the coverings, okay, coverings of what? Coverings of karma, okay, Jnanavaran karma, Dashnavaran karma, Antaray, Monia, all these karmas, Ghati and Aghati karmas, 8 karmas. Removal of the coverings, it has known and recognized its nature. How is its nature? As the knower and seer, nothing else. So the true nature of the soul is just to know and see. It doesn't go beyond that. So when your nature is just to know and see, where is the question of renunciation? Therefore, it now wishes to bring that into conduct as well. For this reason, it now desires to know the nature and method of renunciation, pratyakhyan of other substances. Therefore, with great humility, it asks, O Lord, what is the real nature of renunciation and what is its true method? Okay. So, this is the explanation of the introductory exposition. Continuing with that, here by giving the example of the eye, the matter is clarified that just colors are not seen correctly with diseased eyes. But when the disorder of the eye is removed, everything begins to be seen clearly. In the same way, so long as the Atma was unawakened, apratibuddha, a sense of ownership appeared in the non-self. Although the non-self is quite different from the self, but because of ignorance, because of he was unawakened, a sense of ownership appeared in the non-self. Oneness appeared between the body and the soul. But now that it has become awakened, everything has become clear. He now knows the self as the self, non-self as the non-self. He knows that there is no way that the non-self can enter the self and self can go out of its nature and enter the non-self. Both are quite distinct. Okay. So now everything has become. Therefore, now it wishes to be free from the non-self. This is the reason why it wishes to know the true nature of renunciation. It wishes to know the method of renunciation. In order to pacify the curiosity of such a disciple, Acharya Dev in the 34th and 35th aphorisms explains with example the nature and method of renunciation as follows. So this is the 34th and the 35th verse. I'll read the Hindi one.
Jay, excuse me, Jay Janendra ji. Right,
Yeah.
does it mean that he is with right faith and right knowledge? So he was trying to acquire right conduct also.
Yes.
That is the
Since
thing he's trying for.
Yeah, now he says that what is the method of renunciation? What is renunciation uh, as a matter of fact? He's asking because now he has become awakened. So now he knows that his nature is just to know and see.
Yeah.
And he has not grasped anything in the first place. So where is the question of renunciation? Okay. So that's why he's asking what is the nature of renunciation. And what is the nature of renunciation? That is being answered in this 34th
Right.
and 35th verse. Okay.
Okay, Jay.
Now I am reading the Hindi version. पर भाव को पर जान कर परित्याग उनका जब करे तब त्याग हो बस इसीलिए ही ज्ञान प्रत्याख्यान है। जिस तरह कोई पुरुष पर जान कर पर परित्यजे बस उस तरह पर जान कर पर भाव ज्ञानी परित्यजे। What it means? Because this Atma, knowing all substances other than itself to be non-self, renounces and abandons them. Okay? Because this soul, knowing all substances other than itself, okay? Apart from self, everything else is non-self. Knowing all substances other than itself to be non-self, renounces and abandons them. Therefore, renunciation exists in knowledge itself. This should be understood as a rule. Okay. So renunciation exists in knowledge. Why it is being said like this? Because the knowledge has never grasped anything in the first place. So where is the question of renunciation? So what does renunciation here means? So renunciation here means knowing the non-self as non-self in our knowledge is itself renunciation. Understood? Earlier what was happening? He was not knowing the non-self as non-self. He was knowing the non-self and the self as one. Okay. Now he knows non-self as non-self. Okay. And self as self. Just because he is become awakened, he is now an enlightened soul. He is now a jnani. So now he asks, what is the renunciation all about? So here Acharya Kunkundev says that renunciation exists in knowledge itself. How? So when your knowledge realizes this, realizes the non-self as non-self and self as self, that is only the renunciation. So renunciation exists in knowledge. Physically, you don't have to renounce anything. Why? Because physically you have not accepted anything, right? Physically, you have never accepted. All this time you have been ignorant, you have wandered in the four states of existence, uh, getting birth in all kinds of uh, dravya, shikra, kal, bhav, paravartan, okay, transmigration. But you have never accepted any non-self substances anytime, right? So when you have never accepted non-self accept substances anytime, you always remain self as self, then what is renunciation? So renunciation is in knowledge. When your knowledge sees non-self as non-self, that means it has renounced it. Okay. Believing non-self to be self is a delusion. So now the delusion has been removed. So you are knowing non-self as non-self. This knowing happens in knowledge. And so renunciation exists in knowledge itself. This should be understood as a rule. The purport is that the state of renunciation arising within one's knowledge is itself pratyakyan. Okay. Renunciation arising within one's own knowledge. ज्ञान ही प्रत्याख्यान है. Pratyakyan means tyag. Tyag means abandonment, renunciation. Okay. One's own knowledge is itself pratyakyan. True abandonment, it is nothing else. Just as in worldly dealings. Now, this is being supported by giving an example. Okay. This was 34, now 35. Just as in worldly dealings, a person knowing an external object to be this is an external object, abandons that external object. Similarly, the enlightened person, Jnani Purush, knowing all the states of non-self substances as these are non-self states, abandons them. Just knowing. So everything happens in the knowledge. In the knowledge only you believed that this non-self substance is mine, but it never became yours. Okay? Because you eternally remain a soul. And when you remain as a soul, you are just a knower and seer. So you have not grasped anything. You have never abandoned anything. You are devoid of grasping and renunciation. This is the true nature of the soul. Okay. Now this is being explained here. So this is the introduction. Now this is the further text. Okay. So Jinali, you read.
Just as in worldly dealings, a person knowing an external object to be this is an external object abandons that external object. Similarly, the enlightened person, Gnan Purush, knowing all the states, bhava, of non self substances as these are non self states, abandons them. In this gathas, the true nature of renunciation, pratyakyan, now has been clearly explained. Pratyakhana means abandonment of renunciation. Real renunciation consists precisely in knowing non self substances as non self. Once we have understood that these substances are distinct from us and are non self, their renunciation has already taken place. Because apart from knowing this, what else remains to be done in order to renounce them?
Hmm.
Question: is it not necessary to abandon them? Answer: when they have never been appropriated in the first place?
So
Where
you can
does
write
the
here accepted or grasped. Okay. Appropriated is not a perfect word. So you can change here grasped or accepted. Okay. So later on they have written the word accepted, but here only it comes as appropriated. So we have to change it. Okay. When they have never been grasped or accepted in the first
first
place.
place?
Continue.
Where does the question of abandoning them arise? They were
Hmm.
merely regarded as one's own. Actual appropriation of them is possible. This is
Hmm.
because the Bhagwan Atma possesses a power called freedom from both acceptance and abandonment. Tyag, Updan, and what is that?
Sunyatva Shakti.
Sunya Shakti. Okay. By
Sunyatva. Tyag, Upadan, Sunyatva Shakti. Tyag means renunciation and Upadan means to accept. Okay. So when the soul is always devoid of, so soul has this power that it does not accept anything from outside and it also does not renounce anything from its own nature. So that is a power. Tyag Upadan Shunyatva Shakti is a power, okay, of the soul by which
by
it does
virtue
not accept nor it abandons anything.
by
Again, you
vir-
repeat. This is because.
oh, 1 minute, sir. Um, this the where is
Hmm,
it?
hmm,
This is because the Bhagwan Atma possesses a power called freedom from both acceptance and abandonment, Tyag Upadan and Shunyatva Shakti, by virtue of which it is devoid of accepting or abandoning non self substances. This power indicates that there is no such intrinsic nature in the Atma by which it could accept or abandon external substances. Up to this very day, the Atma has never actually accepted any non self substances. Therefore, what is there for it to abandon? Through its ignorance, it's merely regarded and believed the non self to be its own. Because
hmm,
of this knowing and believing, it became an ignorant and false believer. But no external substances ever became its own, nor can it become so. Therefore, there is no real problem of abandoning the non self. One only has to sees regarding and believing as one's own those substances which through ignorance were considered to be one's own. That only is the abandonment of the non self. For this reason, renunciation, pratyakhyana, is itself knowledge, gnan. It is nothing other than that.
hmm. So you see, uh, okay, now the commentary of Acharya Amritchandra Dev will start. So before that, we will understand this. So everyone understood what is they are talking about of renunciation. So
Yes.
Yes,
earlier,
sir.
due to ignorance, we were believing that non-self substance belongs to me. Non-self substance and I am both one thing, right? We only believed it, but it never happened because there is one power. This is the Bhagwan Atma possesses a power. The soul possesses a power called freedom from both acceptance and abandon. Okay. So it never accepts anything and it never abandons everything. Whatever is there in the soul remains in the soul. Whatever is there in the non-self substance remain in the non-self substance. This is the nature of each and every substance. One substance never accepts anything from another substance. One substance never abandons anything from itself. Okay. So this is the basic nature of each and every substance. Okay. So due to ignorance, we merely regarded and believed non-self to be ours. But it never became so. So only the belief has to be changed. Earlier, we were believing that we have accepted the non-self substances, we have become one with the non-self substance. Now, with the awakening, you know that non-self is quite distinct from me. Okay. So, the moment you know that non-self is quite distinct from me, that is the time of renunciation. Okay. So, that means in the knowledge only you have understood the non-self to be yours, and now with awakening, in the knowledge itself, you are knowing the non-self as non-self. Done? So much understood so far? Everyone? Rajeshri ji, you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It will
Jinali
be clear.
Yes, sir.
and Subhaji to must have understood, right? Okay. So now we will continue with the Atma Khyati Tika. This is the commentary by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev. You can mark it. This is the syllabus starts from here. Okay. So you can mark it if you want. This Bhagwan Atma, the knower and the seer. First of all, they are establishing what is the nature of the Bhagwan Atma, the pure soul, the supreme soul. Okay. Just knowing and seeing. Okay. Recognizes all the alien state, non-self states, parabhavas, arising from the intrinsic natures of other substances. So all the alien states arises from the intrinsic nature of other substances as belonging to other, since they are not pervaded by its own intrinsic state, swabhav bhav, and therefore abandons them. Knowing the non-self as non-self is called abandoning them. Okay. Hence, it is established that the one who first knows is the very one who subsequently renounces. There is no other renouncer. Okay. So, first one who knows non-self as non-self is the same person renounces it, because practically we have not accepted anything as we have not accepted any non-self within us. Okay. We have not grasped any non-self substances, because by nature we are only a knower and seer. We have no business to accept, to grasp any non-self substances. But due to delusion, we believe that we have accepted the non-self substances. We have believed that non-self and me are one. Okay. So all these oneness, mindness, doership, enjoyership, that was there because of delusion. So now the delusion has gone, you have become awakened, you have become an enlightened soul. So now you know that you have not accepted or grasped anything. So there is no question of abandonment. Okay. Hence, it is established that the one who first knows is the very one who subsequently renounces. So it is written here that one who first knows subsequently, but it happens the moment you know non-self as non-self, that moment only it has been renounced. Okay. Very good example here it has been given. Let's see. Thus, having real belief in Atma, real belief in soul means soul is only a knower and seer. And if you believe the soul to be a knower and seer, then that is your real belief. Although at the time of renunciation, one is conventionally designated as the doer of renunciation. Okay. Actually, there is no renunciation. You have non-self as non-self. That is, that part in knowledge is itself renunciation. So, it is said the conventionally designated as the doer of renunciation because of the renunciation is of the alien states, parbhav, alien dispositions, fit to be renounced. Yet, from the ultimate standpoint, Paramarth, the self cannot truly be called the doer that abandons alien states, because it has never deviated from its own nature as knowledge. So all this time, the soul has always remained as a knower. It has never deviated from its knowing attribute. It always keeps on knowing and seeing. Okay. It has never grasped or accepted any non-self within itself. And now with the awakening, he realized that the soul's nature is only knowing. So I don't do anything else than knowing. So where is the question of renunciation? I have not accepted anything as the in the first place. So there is no question of renunciation. Then what is the renunciation? So renunciation is nothing but understanding that non-self as non-self is itself renunciation. And all this happens in the knowledge itself. In the knowledge only we believe that the non-self has become one with me. And now in that knowledge itself, you have corrected your knowledge, and now you are seeing non-self as non-self and self as self. So that is only renunciation. Therefore, one should realize that renunciation is nothing other than knowledge itself. ज्ञान ही प्रत्याख्यान है, ज्ञान ही त्याग है. Okay. Just as a person. Now Acharya Amrit Dev is giving an example, very good example.
The
Just as
Dhyan hi Pratyakhanam, I didn't get that, sir.
So in the knowledge only you believe the non-self as your own. Now in that knowledge only you are correcting non-self as the non-self. So
Okay. I got
physically
it.
you have not renounced anything because physically you have not accepted anything, right? Only your knowledge has been corrected. Believing non-self as non-self is itself the renunciation. Understood, Chinali?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now with the example, I think it will be more clear. Just as a person by mistake brings home another person's garment from a washerman's house, okay, regards it as his own, wraps himself in it. So it was a blanket or chadar, okay. So it was a blanket, he brought it from the washerman's place. It was somebody else, but he thought it's own. So he brought it from here. By mistake, washerman also gave him. And now he was sleeping, wrapping himself in and sleeps, thereby becoming ignorant through his own misconception. Then, when the true owner grasps the edge of that garment, pulls it away and says, "Wake up quickly, be alert. This garment has been exchanged by mistake and is mine. Therefore, return it to me." The person repeatedly hears these words. Then what that person sees? He then checks the brand name. That brand name was not his. And the moment he realizes this, that by mistake this has come to me, this is not mine, that is the same time he loses the ownership of that blanket. Because he had seen that this is not the brand that I have bought it, right? This is a different brand. So now in his knowledge, it is very clear that this does not belong to me. This has come by mistake, and he will not give him right now because it has already been used. So what he will do? He will tomorrow again get it washed, and then he will give it to the other person. But till that time, he knows that this does not belong to me. This belongs to the other person. So everything happened in the knowledge. In the knowledge only, due to ignorance, you believe others' blanket as yours. And now in the knowledge only you have realized that this does not belong to me. So everything happened in the knowledge. So renunciation happens only in knowledge. So renunciation itself is knowledge. Okay. Understood? Example, examining the garment thoroughly through all its distinguishing marks, he comes to know certainly this garment belongs to another person. Thus, becoming knowledgeable, he immediately abandons that garment. Okay. In the belief system, he believes that this garment does not belong to him. Okay. Similarly, the Atma, through delusion, appropriates the states of non-self substances. Appropriates here again means grasp or accepts. Accepts the states of non-self substances, regards them as its own, believes them to be its own, identify itself with them, and remains asleep, thereby making itself ignorant. But when the revered Guru, through discrimination of the non-self states and through discriminative knowledge, Ved Vigyan, establishes it in the one state of the Atma and says, awaken, quickly be alert, your Atma is nothing but pure knowledge. All else are state of non-self substances. Awaken, quickly, be alert. Your soul is nothing but pure knowledge. Only knowing function it does. Its primary characteristics is knowledge. Okay. It knows the self and the non-self. Okay. So your soul is nothing but pure knowledge. All else are states of non-self substances. So apart from knowledge, everything else is states of non-self substances. Then, hearing these scriptural words, Agam Vakya, okay, from the Guru, repeatedly. Repeatedly means Guru does not go on repeating again and again. But Guru says only once. But the disciple in his knowledge contemplates time and again. Okay. That means repeatedly. Okay. So the disciple contemplates it again and again. Okay. Awaken, quickly be alert. Your soul is nothing but pure knowledge. All else are states of non-self substances. Then, hearing these scriptural words repeatedly, it carefully examines all the distinguished characteristics of self and non-self. Thereupon, knowing with certainty, these states are indeed non-self states. I am nothing but pure knowledge. Apart from pure knowledge, everything else is non-self. It becomes enlightened and immediately abandons all non-self states. Now you tell me, physically he has to abandon any non-self states, or what it has to do? Who will tell? Subha.
He has to understand that non-self substances are non-self and they are not me.
Okay.
Once he can discriminate this one, that is a pratyakya.
Okay. That is renunciation itself, right?
Yeah.
Understanding the non-self as non-self is itself the
And
renunciation.
it happens in its knowledge.
Yes, it happens in its knowledge. So in the knowledge itself, due to ignorance, he believed to be his own. He took it from the washerman, brought home, covered it. He was sleeping. Then the owner comes in and says, this is mine. And he gets up and he checks. And he sees that, oh, this is a different brand. Color is same, but the brand is different. So the same moment, he has renounced the ownership of that blanket. It doesn't take more than 1 second. The moment you realize, and that realization happens only in knowledge, right? So renunciation also happens in knowledge. Physically, you have not accepted anything, and physically, you are not going to abandon anything. Only thing is that in the knowledge itself, you believe it to be yours, and now in the knowledge itself, you know that it does not belong to me. That is the renunciation. Understood, Rajeshri ji?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this is the pratyakyan from the real point of view. Okay. This is the real pratyakyan. Here, by means of the example of a person, so up to this, your syllabus ends. Thereupon, knowing with certainty, These states are indeed non-self states. I am nothing but pure knowledge. It becomes enlightened and immediately abandons all non-self states. Okay. So here it ends. Now the explanation. Same thing would be repeated, but anyway, we would read it once. Okay. So Rajeshri ji, you can start reading. Hereby means.
Here by means of example of a person who through confusion brings another garment from the washerman's house, regards it as his own and sleeps in it, and of another person who awakens him and makes him aware of the true situation. It is explained that this Atma has from beginningless time regarded non-self substance as its own and thereby remained ignorant. However, when the true Guru explains, "O brother, these non self states are not yours. You are the Bhagwan Atma, whose nature is knowledge and bliss, Jnananda Swabhavi, distinct from all these." Then, from the repeated instructions of the true Guru, this Atma becomes awakened and abandons the notion of oneness, Ekatva Buddhi, when, with all non self substances. It breaks its sense of ownership and identification with them, turns away from them, and establishes a sense of belonging in itself. This entire process takes place within the knowledge alone because those non self substances never actually become its own. It had merely regarded them as its own. Now it has ceased to regard them as such. Therefore, everything has occurred within the knowledge itself. Hence, knowledge itself is renunciation. Gyan ki pratyakyan. This point
Bas.
is expressed.
Bas. This is up to this only. Okay. Now we will skip some of this. Acharya Banarsi Das gist. This we'll skip. We'll move on to page number. Yeah. 315. Hmm. Hmm. So from here we will study. Thus raising a similar question, Swamiji resolves it as follows. Okay. From there you have to read. Subha, you read. Hmm.
Yes, Ji.
Hmm.
The one who first knows is the one who later announces. There is no other announcer. What does this mean? The knower who knows that contrary dispositions or conceptual constructions are incapable of pervading the nature of knowledge does not transform into the form of vibhav. Therefore, he alone is said to be the one who renounces attachment. The knower knows in this manner. By nature, I am the one who sees and knows. States of merit and demerit are not my nature. Therefore, they are non-self states. Hence, upon knowing them, he renounces them, that is, withdrawing from them. He abides in his own nature, Swarup. For this reason, it is said that the one who first knows is the one who later renounces. In Atma Kyadi, where it is stated that the one who first knows is the one who later renounces, it is also written at the end, by the way of conclusion, that knowledge itself is renunciation. If knowledge itself is renunciation, then how can there be any difference in between knowledge and renunciation, between knowing and renouncing? This statement in Atma Kyadi is also worthy of attention. Although it is spoken of as the doership, kartatva, of renouncing non-self dispositions, from the ultimate standpoint, there is not even any doership of renouncing non-self dispositions. The reality is that the Atma has never actually appropriated non-self dispositions, Prabha. Therefore, how can there truly be any question of renouncing them? Due to ignorance, one had regarded and believed the non-self as one's own. Thus, what is abandoned is only the notion and belief that the non-self is one's own. Even in this, what is there to do so? Even in this, what is there to do? One merely has to know that non-self dispositions are not one's own. This knowing itself is called renunciation. In his way, knowing itself is renunciation. Apart from knowing, what else is there to do what that could be called renouncing? Swamiji clarified this point as follows. Here it is said that the attachment laden modification in the form of instability that occurs in a right believer is not by my true nature. Knowing that remaining in the form of attachment is not my nature. One becomes inwardly established in one's own nature. Then, during the period of abiding in the stability of one's own nature, attachment does not arise at all. Therefore, it is merely a nominal manner of speaking to say that attachment has been renounced. From the ultimate standpoint, the Atma is not the doer of renunciation of attachment. That is, even the designation of being doer of renunciation of non self disposition does not truly belong to the Atma. If the other substance was known as other, then acceptance of an alien state, prabha, did not occur. That itself is its renunciation. The instability that existed due to the attachment of upayog towards attachment. When that cognitive upayog became established in the blessed Atma, whose nature is knowledge, instability did not arise at all. This alone is called renunciation. Therefore, knowledge that has become stable is itself renunciation. Apart from knowledge, there is no other state that is renunciation. The stabilization of knowledge in the knower, the son of conscious knowerhood, is itself renunciation. Renunciation, relinquish, and meditation, all these are merely pure transformation of the attribute of conduct, which are nothing other than the stability of knowledge. Therefore, it has been rightly said that knowledge that has become stable is itself pratyagyan. Should I continue, Ji?
Yes.
Jayachandra Chabra writes in the explanatory meaning of Katha 34. The Atma is said to be the doer of the relinquishing of non-self states, but this is only nominal. In reality, it is the nature of knowledge. To know the other substance as other and then not to accept the non-self state is itself relinquishing. In this way, knowledge that has become stable is itself pratyakyan. Apart from knowledge, there is no other state that is pratyakyan. Acharya Jayasena, in most unambiguous words, writes, therefore, one must accept, know, and experience that the unwavering self-cognizing knowledge alone is truly renunciation. The meaning is that in the state of supreme absorption, Parama Samadhi Kala, the experience of the pure soul through the force of self-cognizing knowledge is itself the real renunciation.
Stop. Stop. So, how do you get rid of these? How do you get rid of this attachment? How do you renounce the attachment? So, it says the instability that existed, page 307. Yeah, here. See here. If the other substance was known as other, then the acceptance of an alien state did not occur. That itself is its renunciation. The instability that existed to the attachment of upyog towards attachment. Okay. The instability that existed due to the attachment of upyog towards attachment, when that cognitive upyog became established in the blessed Atma. Okay. So when an active consciousness, that upyog, got absorbed in the pure soul, okay, whose nature is knowledge, instability did not arise at all. So this is how we renounce. Okay. Renouncing means that if it does not arise, that that itself is called renunciation. Okay, so if the attachment does not arise, then it is called renunciation of attachment. And when did the attachment will not arise? When you take shelter in your pure soul, the attachment does not arise, and that is only called the renunciation. Similarly here, instability did not arise at all. This alone is called renunciation. So here it has been discussed with instability, and earlier in the earlier page, earlier one or two paragraph before, I'll just show you again. Yes, in this paragraph. Here it is said that the attachment led and modification, rag roop paridaman, in the form of instability, asthirta, that occurs in a right believer is not my true nature. So he is a right believer. Still, due to the conduct deluding karma, charitramonia karma, there is still instability, asthirta. Okay, your belief is right. You are an enlightened soul. But as far as the conduct is concerned, it is not there. So the instability is there. Okay, so instability that occur in a right believer is not my true nature. Knowing that remaining in the form of attachment is not my nature. Manifesting the attachment is not my nature. Although the attachments gets manifested, but it is from the karmic reactions. It is not my nature. I am not the doer of it. I have no oneness with it, no mindness in it, no doership, no enjoyership. Okay. Knowing that remaining in the form of attachment is not my nature, one becomes inwardly established in one's own nature. So that active consciousness is turned inward and it gets established in one's own nature, that is pure soul. Then, during the period of abiding in the stability of one's own nature, attachment does not arise at all. So your active consciousness has taken shelter of the pure soul. So now the attachment does not arise at all. Therefore, it is merely a nominal manner of speaking to say that attachment has been renounced. In reality, attachment does not arise at all because the active consciousness has taken the shelter of the pure soul. And when it has taken the shelter of the pure soul, the detachment arises. And to the extent the detachment arises, the attachment does not arise at all. Okay. And that attachment does not arise at all. That is said that attachment has been renounced. Okay. So physically there is no renouncement. It is only just knowing and getting absorbed in it. And when you get absorbed in your pure self, that is the time the attachment does not arise at all. And that is only stated as renouncing of attachment. Okay. Therefore, it is merely a therefore it is merely a nominal manner of speaking to say that attachment has been renounced. From the ultimate standpoint, the Atma is not the doer of the renunciation of attachment. That is, even the designation of being the doer of the renunciation of non-self disposition does not truly belong to the Atma. Okay. So in this paragraph, it is about the attachment. Here it is about the instability. In both the cases, the active consciousness has taken shelter of the pure soul, and by taking shelter of the pure soul, the detachment arises, vitrakta arises, and to that extent, the attachment does not arise at all, and that is called renunciation of attachment. So everything is only happening in the knowledge. Physically, we are not accepting anything, we are not abandoning anything. Okay, that is the nature of the soul. Okay, so now another kalash number 29 is coming up. We will see this kalash and then we will close for today. Okay, so I'll read this. Now Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev, in the form of a Kalash Kavya, says that before the effect of the illustration of the washerman, the blanket, the says that before the effect of the illustration explained earlier diminishes, self-experience should arise. Indeed must arise. This Kalash Kavya, which inspires one to attain self-experience through intense spiritual effort, is as follows. Okay, so the Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev is motivating us to put in that intense spiritual effort. Okay, so what is this intense spiritual effort? To realize the self experience is the intense spiritual effort. Okay, now this is Malini Chand. We'll see this. Yes. पर भाव के परित्याग की दृष्टि पुरानी न पड़े, और जब तलक है आत्मन वृत्ति न हो अति बलवती, व्यतिरिक्त जो पर भाव से वह आत्मा अति शीघ्र ही अनुभूति में उतरा, अरे चैतन्य वह स्वयं ही. Therefore, this is an extremely important moment. This is an extremely important moment, that before the mental disposition could, with great force, turn towards external activity, before it could descend into such engagement, and before the vividness of the illustration concerning the abandonment of the non-self state could grow old or fade, the experience of self, completely free from all other states, is manifested spontaneously and immediately by itself. Okay, so when you have contemplated something, you are about to arrive at a decision about something, because you have contemplated about it, you have thought about it, you have analyzed about it. Okay, so at that moment only you need to strike. You have to strike when the iron is hot, then it gets mold. But if you don't do that time, if you have hitten the iron, but if you don't bend it at that point of time, then again it will straighten up. Okay, because the moment it becomes cool, then it becomes so strong that you cannot mold it. Okay, so the moment it is hot, you have to mold it. Here also, the moment you have already undergone some analysis, some contemplations. Okay, so that same moment you have to realize yourself. Okay, so that is what is being explained here. Therefore, this is an extremely important moment. Which moment is extremely important? The moment you have contemplated, the moment you have analyzed, and the moment you have realized that non-self is non-self. Okay, all these happened in knowledge, and that moment you need to strike. Okay, that before the mental disposition could, with great force, turn towards external activity. So now you have contemplated it. Now if you get engaged in something else, okay, then this will, you will forget this. This will fade away. Before it could descend into such engagement, and before the vividness of the illustration, just now we saw the illustration of the washerman's that blanket, before the vividness of the illustration concerning the abandonment of the non-self state could grow old or fade, the experience of self, completely free from all other states, is manifested spontaneously and immediately by itself. Okay, so we have to put in effort, when we have contemplated, when we have concluded non-self as non-self, that is the time we experience ourself. Okay. How the abandonment of the non-self state takes place and how self-realization manifests. Acharya has explained this exceedingly well by means of an illustration. The listeners and readers have also understood the point, and the aspiration for self-experience has arisen in their hearts. However, if intense exertion here means effort, okay. However, if intense effort does not arise at such a time, then within a short period, impurity may enter the disposition and the understanding may also fade away. So when you are engaged into something, people, scientists and all, they do research something. So when they are researching, they are getting insight into it, they don't want to get it disturbed. Even at times they don't eat also, because they are constantly, their mind is running after those questions only, how this has happened, what we could do alternatively, how we can arrive at this, all these contemplations going in their mind, so they even forget to eat also. Okay. So however, if intense effort does not arise at such a time, then within a short period, impurity may enter the disposition. So within a, if you don't do that time, if you don't put in intense effort at that time, then you may lose that momentum. Okay. And if you lose that momentum, then again getting back to that momentum is difficult. So Acharya Dev here is motivating us that you put in intense effort at that point of time. Okay. If you don't put that effort at that point of time, because you have come a long way, you are on the verge of breaking that solution. Okay. So now if you stop it or if you engage in something else, then this momentum will go. Okay. And the understanding may also fade. Therefore, this is an extremely important moment. It is a great opportunity and should not be missed. Hence, the inspiration given here is that before the disposition becomes impure and before the understanding fades, one should, through intense effort, not exertion, effort, bring about the manifestation of self-experience. The wording here is such that before the disposition could become impure and before the vision of the illustration concerning the renunciation of non-self states could fade, the experience of the Atma, distinct from non-self states, is manifested. However, by saying this, the revered Acharya wishes to inspire us to undertake intense efforts. Okay, so here again they have corrected intense efforts. At the same time, he also wishes to indicate that the preparatory stage preceding the attainment of self-experience is of this nature. So whenever you will realize yourself, immediately prior to that moment, you will also have this kind of contemplation running in your mind. Okay, you are just putting logic after logic, logic after logic to arrive at a conclusion. Okay. So now you are already into that momentum. So don't lose that momentum. Otherwise, that opportunity will go. So don't miss this opportunity. Acharya is motivating us that you undertake intense effort and nail down that problem. Okay. And realize yourself. Okay. At the same time, he also wishes to indicate that the preparatory stage preceding the attainment of self-experience is of this nature. Almost every day, something similar happens to all seekers of the Atma. When they engage in self-study, swadhyay, or listen to discourses, purity arises in their dispositions. Okay. Purity arises in their mental activity, dispositions. And the teaching concerning the Atma is also understood and settles in the mind. However, as soon as they leave that setting, the disposition becomes impure and the attention of knowledge begins to wander elsewhere. This happens with many people. Many have complained about this, that the moment we are listening to the Jinwani, we feel so good, we feel so motivated. And the moment we come out of the temple and we get involved in our day-to-day life, like business or cooking and everything, we forget everything. Okay. So that momentum should not be lost. Okay. So again, at that point of time, you put in intense efforts and realize yourself. You will never get another opportunity because you have come already so far. Okay. Now you are very close to self-realization. Now, if you get involved in something else, then this momentum will go away. So here, one paragraph is missing. I'll read from the Hindi and explain you. यहाँ आचार्य देव कहते हैं कि अरे भाई, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. ओ ब्रदर, दिस शुड नॉट हैपन. होना तो ऐसा चाहिए कि जब तक वृत्ति में वेग उत्पन्न न हो, पर भाव के त्याग की भावना फीकी न पड़े, उसके पहले ही आत्मानुभूति प्रकट हो जाना चाहिए. Things should happen this way, that the moment you are already into that contemplation, okay, so you are already into that momentum, okay, and you are already contemplating about the renunciation of non-self states. So it should not fade away. Before it fades away, you put in intense efforts and you realize yourself. Okay, that is same thing. इसलिए हमें निरंतर भेद विज्ञान की भावना को बहाना चाहिए, नचाना चाहिए. So we should always contemplate to practice discriminative knowledge all the time. चिंतन की निरंतरता से ही रुचि की तीव्रता होगी. Okay. So if you contemplate continuously, then your interest will intensify. Okay. भावना का प्रबल वेग स्फुरमान होगा. Okay. It will give a new momentum in your life और आत्मानुभूति की भूमिका तैयार होगी. So the preparatory stage preceding the attainment of self experience will become ready. Okay. So this is all. One paragraph is missing that I will tell. I've already informed them about adding, but nothing important. It's the same repetitions. So it is okay. These are all not part of the syllabus. The part of the syllabus is only this one. This one paragraph after the Kalash. This one. Therefore, yes, this much is the syllabus. You can mark it up. Okay. Then tomorrow we will see words number 36 and 37. They are more or less similar kind. Only the, as I said, in the practice of discriminative knowledge, there are two parties. One is the pure soul and the other is the non-self part. So there will be change in the non-self part. One part will remain the same and more or less the technique is also same. So 36 and 37 we will do together tomorrow, and then we will move on to one Kalash, 30 number Kalash, and then we will, next week we will start 38. Okay, 38 Gatha. 38 Gatha is very important. You should remember, memorize it, and I am contemplating of giving it as a CC1. I'm planning to give CC1 based on that, but let's see how it works out. So we'll decide next week only. Okay. So tomorrow 36 and 37, you just read it once and come, so you will understand better. Today you have any questions? We have still 4 minutes to go. We can discuss if you have any questions. Yeah, Subha, Jinali. Jinali, all this total Samaysar is about meditation.
Yes, sir.
You must be enjoying it and understanding it better
Yes, sir.
because it is giving you an object for meditation. And this is
Yes.
true meditation.
So today I'd come to Borivali to give a lecture on this meditation in Gokhale College.
Gokhale College, Simpoli Road.
I don't know the road, but Vartak Gokhale College. It's not a very hi-fi
I
college, but
understood.
yeah.
There are marriage halls nearby, mega
Okay.
party hall and these and that.
Okay.
It was 10 minutes from my place. You could have called me.
I just thought about it, but then I had people with me, so the whole
Oh,
group was there. Yeah.
okay, good. So, who you addressed those? Who were
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
listeners?
Yeah. So we started with like how do you do meditation and why do you do? Because at this level, they academic levels, they just need to do meditation or they need to know meditation
Hmm.
for their focus or something like that. I know it is not with it doesn't go with Jinwani, but
But okay, but they were not Jains after all, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So commonly they focus on the breathing and then some head and something like that. It
Yeah,
goes
we
on.
did our chakra meditation, and
Hmm.
sir, the thing is, I explained the scientific part of it. So
Hmm.
how meditation will change your brain structure.
Hmm. Good.
Yeah,
Very good. So nice. You are sharing your knowledge with others.
thank you, sir.
So then you can improvise also, and you can add the meditation as per Jainism also, because all all people are all are pure soul only, right?
Yeah, so we did Soham meditation. The Soham means that only. जो
Okay.
तुम हो वो मैं हूँ मतलब वो.
I think
So explanation is
Srimad ji
that.
has said something about Soham, right?
या देर इज श्रीमद जी में है उसका योग दीपक में देर इज अ बुक योग दीपक
Hmm.
बाय बुद्धि सागर सूरी जी आई सपोज.
Okay.
हाँ. So there also there is this Soham mantra is there. So
Hmm.
Soham is nothing. It's a Sanskrit word which means that whatever I mean, जो तत्व तुम में है वो मैं भी हूँ. So I am
Hmm.
that. That's it.
Right. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. We are just revise once and read 36 and 37. We'll start that. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है 9 times नमोकार मंत्र.